Pretty neat contest going on right now. If you go to our the official website of the Outlaws, outlawpulling.com, on the homepage you can enter the Case IH Ultimate Outlaw Pulling Fan Contest, brought to you by Case IH. Two grand prizes, giving away two trips for two, all expense paid, to the 2023 National Farm Machinery Show Championship Truck and Tractor Pull, all 6 sessions. Giving away two of these trips. At the end of this season in September, all you have to do is go to outlawpulling.com and click on Enter the Contest right there on the home page. The Ultimate Outlaw Pulling Fan Contest by Case IH. In addition to those grand prizes, we'll be giving away things like licensed T-shirts, licensed apparel from Case IH and the Outlaws T-shirts, hats, and also championship banners, the Case IH banners. After every session of pulling this summer, we have all the winners coming to autograph a full-size Case banner, and we give those away as well. Now, to find out if you've won, we will obviously send you your prizes, but if you want to find out when we draw the names, we draw them every Tuesday night at 7 p.m. on the official podcast of the Outlaws, called Outlawed, live at 7 p.m. every Tuesday night, Central Time, on Facebook, and the Beer Money Pulling Team and the Outlaw Pulling Facebook page as well. Taylor Van Beek, Diesel Superstock, Rock Valley, Iowa, extreme pleasure. Oh, he was heading for that left boundary. I saw his right foot, his right leg extend out on that brake on the right side to pull it back in. 289.76, 289.76 for Taylor Van Beek, an extreme pleasure. Multiple turbochargers on these diesel superstock tractors, pushing these power plants way beyond their limits of what they were designed to do. Were you guys keeping that? 289.76. The boost pressures in this class are absolutely unreal. You've heard, like in the drag racing world, somebody with a street car that's hopped up, it's really modified. You're talking about 30 pounds of boost, things like that being extreme. Some of these diesel supers are pushing like 350 pounds of boost into these motors. They were not designed for that. They're literally ticking time bombs, these engines in these diesel superstock tractors. If you are a true outlaw pulling fan, you consider yourself a true outlaw pulling fan, you have to have the Outlaw Pulling app. Go to the Google Play Store, download the Outlaw Pulling app. You can find out who's winning at whatever pull we're pulling at this summer as it's happening. You can find out up-to-date standings in the points races. You can find a full schedule on there, directions to each pull. It's a must for the Outlaw Pulling fan. If you are the ultimate Outlaw Pulling fan, you have to have the app. Here we go. Tyler Buckback out of Waverly, Iowa, Bowling Green. not sure if the water injection was up to snuff, but something was going wrong. 252.66, 252.66 for Tyler Buckman. Might not have been hit.
Hello, Ron.
Hey, Kens, what's going on?
Oh, just living the dream. Tyler is here, but he's not here.
He's here, but he's not
There he
here.
is.
Taylor Van Beek hangs on to the lead.
There he is. Oh, he's eating supper. That's what he's doing.
Yeah. All right. I'll let you guys talk away. I'm just going to hide in the background.
All right, you gonna play the intro here, Kenzie?
How you doing tonight, Ron?
Hey, Tyler. Yo, what's happening, Mr. Buckman?
Yes, sir.
What's going on tonight?
Getting caught up, I guess. Hauling
Getting caught-
beans, getting ready.
Did I catch you
We're
at
gonna-
supper time?
What?
Did I catch you at supper time?
Oh no, we were just finishing up a few things, so it's all good. I got.
So I think we might be having a little bit of audio problem on your end, I think. Say something here real quick, Tyler.
Can you guys hear me at all? I
Okay,
tried to do
gotcha.
it better.
Yep, it may be when I cut you off, it might be cutting you off. So I'll try not to talk over you here.
And I'll try not to say something when you're talking.
So we got Tyler Buckman on tonight, diesel super stock puller with the Outlaws. Want to talk to Tyler a little bit about the diesel super stock class this season and a special program we've got coming up early in the season. We'll talk about that in a moment, but let's talk a little bit about you, Tyler, here first off. I also want to thank everyone for tuning in. Thanks for joining us tonight. The season's right around the corner. Tyler, how long have you been pulling with the Outlaws?
First year out with the tractor was 2010, but I actually was a tech official from, I want to say 2002 or 2003 up until 2008 or 2009, right before we started. So I've been around it for a long time.
Was your dad a puller first?
He's been a tech official for, I think he started in 72. Well, he graduated in 72. I think Dad started around 75, helping Eldon Westendorf with the pulling sled. And at that time, the pulling sled guys brought the track equipment and the tech guys, and it kind of just, Dad kept doing it from there and helping down the state fair with the Iowa tractor pull stuff. And then he was part of that group when the Iowa tractor pullers went from basically NTPA to Outlaw. Dad was part of that stuff, and we were just always going along when I was younger to tractor pulls while Dad was flagging and working. So it's kind of how we got started with it. Yeah, so and then 2 miles away. So yeah, kind of got in our bloods early on, I'd say.
Yeah. So is diesel super stock the only class you ever pulled in, or did you pull in any other classes?
Yep. Nope. We've only been in the diesel super stock world, and it kind of helped a little bit with my sister marrying Adam Vasky. So Adam's my brother-in-law, and they had knowing Daryl back in the 90s when they had their super stock. And then I knew Adam when they started pulling with Eugene Williams back in the early 2000s. So known Adam for quite a while. And we knew when I got done with college, we knew we wanted to start into it, but wanted to do it ourselves and just took our time building it and I've had the hard road of learning myself on a lot of things.
Yeah, that's like a jump in head first there, Diesel Super Stocks right off the bat, man.
Yeah, it's been fun. We've learned a lot. Technology's improved a lot. Feel really good where we are. Hopefully going to get some new engine parts here pretty soon. We've been kind of waiting patiently, and the last whole year, probably this year now, I'll run some older stuff one more year just to kind of make the season. And I think we can make some good passes and look, be at every hook and just kind of see what Doug can do if he can keep playing some good passes on and making a good show out of it.
Yeah, that's kind of been the theme, I think, pretty much in all the classes the last year and a half or so is patiently waiting for parts and making old parts work. We've heard that quite a bit in the last year.
There's been some times I put together things that it was rough, but we found them and got them. So it was just unfortunate. We had kind of a rough year with we had an injection pump issue going on in the middle of the summer. That's where that miss was. You could hear it, and just we're thinking it was something in the sleeves, a fire ring, something in the head. I mean, we had the head off about every weekend trying to figure it out. And finally, we just ran out of ideas. And one of the other guys in the class was like, hey, man, take your injectors out of the head, swing the lines to the side, and crank her over and see what makes a mess outside the tractor, basically. And found one injector wasn't even firing. Another one wasn't very good. So, yeah, I took 2 lobes off the cam and the pump. And it was –
oh, wow.
That was hard to find. But
yeah,
that's all
right.
We got to up.
So you had a significant win. That was that this past season or season before at the Iowa State Fair?
2021. We were kind of going along there, and then I dropped the valve out in Concord, Nebraska. We missed Gibbon and Mobile. Got the head fixed up the bottom end again, and put some different turbos up top. Went to the State Fair, got the win. Went out to Wisner that Friday night, got 3rd place, and then won Saturday night, and then won the overall Saturday night out of Wisner. We had a pretty good stretch there. So 2 wins.
Heck yeah.
Won the Thunderbolt. So that was a fun time for us out there. Made some really good passes both nights, and just kind of got fortunate Saturday night. We were early on. I love first hook. That's to me just, I'll take that every time. That hook, I just
really
second guess nothing. The track's usually the best. I've got faith in Kevin and them guys with the sled that they're going to have it set right. And it's like, hey, here's the best I can do, guys. So I'll take that anytime I can get it.
So I'm looking at the schedule here, and I should probably try to bring that up and let Kinsey pull it up on the screen. She might have it, actually. Mr. Pulltown Nut is commenting. Can you see the comments there?
I can't. In my younger days, it was other things, but as I get older here, I'm going to say Bud Light.
Russell Dostal says, Tyler, great to see you on the show. What's your favorite place to pull and why?
That's a toss-up. I have enjoyed Wisner a lot, but there's a bunch of other hooks that we've enjoyed. The one I'm excited to talk about tonight was we pulled in Whitewright in 2019. And that was a blast down there. Just the people, the crowd, the place. Looking forward to going back. I mean, I was talking to the guys at the banquet already about getting us back down there. We had an opening in the schedule, and that was the one pushing to go back down there. So I'm really looking forward to Whitewright.
Yeah, let's go ahead and talk about, and one of the reasons you're going to Whitewright, you're kickstarting a shootout between 2 events in Texas and Iowa. Tell the folks a little bit about the Big Smoke Shootout.
Yeah, the Big Smoke Shootout. This is kind of I thought of this back in January and kind of been talking to Doug about it, trying to get, out. Whitewright's new to us, and then Rock Valley is one of the bigger ones they want to see a few more of us at. So Doug and I thought together, hey, let's put together a 4-hook shootout. We raised some money. We got hoping to gain a little bit more yet, but we're working on a flyer for that we can link those 4 hooks together, have some more money for, the guy that wins first, and hopefully get some money to the other guys that make all 4 hooks. So it should be kind of fun. I mean, it's going to be our 2nd through 6th hook out. We go to Ravenna before that. So, I mean, it's going to be early on in the season, right before and after 4th of July. So we got a week break in there. I think it's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, that well, of course, Your first hook is Ravenna.
Yep.
You get a test hook there. Then from there, the Ravenna is June 9th and 10th.
And White down to White right then. A week later.
White Right is 2 weeks later, the 23rd and 24th. White Right, Texas. The Thunder and the Lone Star.
So yeah, we've got a really awesome schedule with about every other weekend we go pulling. So I'm looking forward to this summer. I think it's gonna be a lot of fun.
Yeah, Kenzie's pulling up the schedule now for folks to see. If you look over here on the close to the far right side,
going there, we've got Wayne, Nebraska. We go to, and then I think it's what's the new one in Lamar's,
Iowa. Yep.
Lamar's.
Yeah, they had a killer crowd there. Wayne, Nebraska always has a killer crowd. White Right, Lord, the last 2 seasons. I don't know if you've seen some of the video from White Right post COVID. They've had standing room only down there the last 2 years.
The standing room only, Ron. Saturday night when we got done pulling in 2019, you drove off the track and they had the big screen in the middle, and you literally had to stop and turn the tractor off, and they had to tow you around because there were that many people standing at the end of the track watching because the grandstands were full.
Yeah.
And the crazy part was at like 6 o'clock, it rained for like 5 minutes. The umbrellas came out. People didn't go anywhere. The rain was over with. The umbrellas went down. They worked the water into the track, and it was a really great track that night.
Yeah, a local news station, out of Dallas, was there in 2021.
Oh, cool.
And I actually posted some of that video that they put out on their newscast. But it was elbow to elbow there at White Right there. And last year they had just as big a crowd. So, yeah, you guys will put on a heck of a show down there. That'll be
big smoke shootout. Yeah, we're hoping with this big smoke shootout we can get 7-8 tractors to go with us to Texas and then follow us right up to Rock Valley in 2 weeks. It'll be a little hard, they kind of overlap with Toma, Wisconsin going on that same weekend, but
sure.
We've been pulling Outlaws for so long that I don't remember the last time I've gone to Toma even to hardly watch.
So yeah, that's the big smoke shootout. Now there's what I'm told, talking to Kurt, talking to you, there's a minimum $5,000 is what's being put up there, and you have a few sponsors.
So that we're a little over halfway on that right now. We've got a couple of good ones. We're just going to kind of see how things come together here the next few months with stuff, and see if anybody else wants to jump on board. Working with Cody on getting some artwork put together, and seeing what we can do. So yeah, raise some extra money for the class. It's 4 hooks, and help these guys get down and that are going to go down there, and help guys from down there maybe come up here and kind of see what fun with it.
Extreme tire cutting. Extreme Performance Tire Cutting there in Rock Valley is going to jump in and help too. And you have a couple other sponsors there. You want to mention those sponsors?
Yeah, you bet. We got, obviously Doug's going to help out with his High Plains Performance. He's really taken off with some block work and some engine work, not only on the semi side of things, but he's really taken off on the pulling side of things too. So it's great to see him, stepping up as a puller, but also a shop to help guys get tractors running and keeping things going. So Doug's helping out. I've got a neighbor of mine that's got a RGN, so he pulls a lot of grain carts out under Firth, and he's got a Golden Ribbon Transport. So he kind of talking to him a little bit. And I said, hey, a lot of guys are going to see this out west that, if they need to get something hauled on a semi, he's pretty much got it. He took 2 weeks ago, he took a 2598 grain cart all the way down to almost southern Texas and brought a Cat Challenger all the way back up to Iowa. So he kind of goes everywhere and can haul anything.
Okay.
We've our farm here is going to help out too a little bit. So kind of just started with that and kind of talked to Doug and say, hey, let's see what this comes out as. So yeah, it's kind of came up with a name when I was trucking one time, just driving down the road, and hey, what do we want to do? What do you want to call it? And so we thought, well, most of the time the supers are called the Big Smoke. So I said, hey, let's try the Big Smoke shootout, see what we think of that. Maybe we can continue to do it here next couple of years and put together 2 hooks, maybe not the same 2, but we'll try to maybe do something like that for guys, through the summer to change locations and try to help out certain pulls and all that good stuff.
Yeah, it's a perfect name for it, a Big Smoke. Diesel Supers, and this is a class too that's kind of struggled, over the last several years. But just simply because you guys are really pushing these things to the limit in this Diesel Superstock class.
Well, there's just I think a lot of us are kind of getting it figured out how to get them to run, but at the same time, all of a sudden, as soon as you get one part fixed, it seems like you got another piece kind of slide in there a little bit, and it's tough because you really don't want to run them as hard as you can because it's pressure and heat, man. It makes some horsepower, But I think a lot of guys have really in the last couple of years updated a lot of parts, gotten a lot of things that have become really consistent. And it kind of the diesel class to me, we kind of have our ups and downs. You have a few years where you got 4 or 5 guys, and then hopefully now we can have a couple of years we get 5, 6, 7, or 8 maybe. So
yeah, you mentioned earlier you mentioned the name Eugene Williams. I hear he might be coming back out this year.
Yeah, we hope so. Well, they've had their the 190. Him and Scott Frankie been working on the last 2 years. Scott made some pretty good advancement this year. Had some issue with some water injection stuff and was having some piston issues, but I think they kind of got that a little bit fixed at the end of the year. They kind of patched it together, so it sounds like they're going to have that one back together. And I've heard there's a new one out. I hope they can get it running and get parts there. So if they got 2, that's even better yet.
Yeah,
a lot of fun.
I'm hearing as well.
Frankie worked with Adam Vasky on their tractor, the old Chance Encounter. So I've known Scott for, he helped me out with ours when we first had our tractor out that first couple of years. So Scott's been pretty involved with the super stock world for a long time.
Yeah, and that was that Chance Encounter. That was points champion, 2019, I think, right?
I think it was 2018 or 2017.
Could have been.
Yeah, they
2018.
Adam got. I think he sold that in 2018. I think is when he actually sold that. I'm trying to remember what year it was. I know we were switching from 4 Chargers to 3 Charger because we won the points in 16, and I think we ran that same setup in 17, and then 18 is when we were switching to 3 and fought that a little bit, and then finally ran into Travis and Denny Healy, and them guys got us set up some better turbos, and we reworked the head and kind of changed a little bit of the way we were running stuff, and really came out kind of white right. And 2019 was our first really good weekend with the 3 Charger setup for us.
Russell Dostal wants to know what your RPM is on a good run. Let's say Iowa State Fair. You probably have some pretty good RPM at Iowa State Fair, I'm guessing.
New track at the State Fair the last 2 years, track's come around an awful lot. That first year it was super soft. That was one of those that you couldn't hardly get enough weight back. I've been trying to do 52 to 5,500. We're trying to get the RPMs up, trying to keep the pressure numbers down, but we're adding so much fuel now with the pump advancements we have, and we're just finding out you got to loosen things up and run them RPMs, and it seems to be staying together fairly good. I fight a little bit on the John Deere side with valve train parts. They're kind of smaller and a little bit harder in the 436 block, but we're making it do yet.
And you mentioned pressure. How much pressure are you talking? How much pressure do you run?
That year we won the State Fair and out at Wisner, I think we were just probably right a tick over 250. 250,
okay.
But we were pushing we were running about 1,500, 1,550, not quite 1,600 degrees on a couple of those runs. So it takes a little bit of heat up there.
Now, you were talking about, Eugene Williams, and I think
he's been around. God, he had the Pure Pleasure was the one that I remember from back in the early 2000s. The cast rear end, and then he had, it was actually Bucks Fever was back in the late 90s. That was the 1066, I think that sheet metal was, and then he's got. I know he campaigned the new Bucks Fever and Virgil's Dream with the new style sheet metal and some other kind of rear ends, and I know I'm missing one somewhere in there. He's had quite a few they've campaigned over the years, but it's great to see them guys back out. I'm glad they enjoy it. I'm glad they came back out, and it's been a lot of fun again.
What about David Anderson? I mean, I know we haven't seen him out last year or so.
I knew from what I talked to him last year, I think one time he bought out the Kevin Schreier chassis, that Red Royal. That was out east, and then he bought that back, and because they were working on his tractor, because he was still a cast rear end, they were working on trying to get that thing lightened up and to try to run our class, because I know he was getting more power and fighting issue with front end weight, and so I think it's just a matter of time getting some of that stuff to come together for them guys, the last 2 years. So we're hoping to see him out this year. It'd be great if he gets that new chassis out. I think he's going to like the component a lot better. I mean, he really stepped his engine game up the last couple of years, so he was really making some good. I mean, he was making some strong passes. Just was a little bit light in the front end and was getting a little rough on him at times.
Yeah. Schreier actually drove that at the Cowtown Showdown there.
Yeah,
a couple of years back and won it, and I think he had already sold it to David Anderson, and Schreier was driving it for the last time, and he won the Cowtown Showdown, which was pretty cool.
Yeah, I remember against them down at the Kemper Arena.
Yeah. Yeah, Schreier, I used to announce them quite a bit. He has several tractors he pulls, the Missouri State tractor pullers, but that was the big one that he pulled.
What was it, like a light limited diesel they had for a while too? They were campaigning.
They have a couple. They have one called Red Royal Light, and I think one's a light limited super.
The Red Royal Light.
And one was Little Red Royal. They had, I think it was a gas tractor. Actually, they ran 5900 Pro Field with that with Missouri State then.
Yep.
One of his daughters is driving one of those tractors too. So,
cool.
Yeah, they were campaigning 3 tractors. Not sure what they're doing now. They may still just be doing that, running those 2 tractors with Missouri State. But looking at the hooks here, now you guys have 15 hooks. Now, obviously,
Spencer's the lone dog out. We got Spencer's our one hook. Otherwise, we'd have 8 weekends with 2 hooks a week. But Spencer's the lone dog on a Sunday. Because, we got Mobile. That one's our first week in August. And then the weekend before that, like I said, is the Wayne and Lamar. So, yeah.
Yeah, just starting at the top. I mean, Ravenna, that second weekend of June. Then White Wright, of course, and then Rock Valley. And that's the first full weekend of June there, or July.
Yep.
And then you come out to Britt, Iowa, July 26th. So a little bit of a break there, a little bit of time to get things freshened back up. Britt, that's a Wednesday night event on July 26th. Steve Weiskus is saying, bring your shootout to Manila, please. And from Britt on a Wednesday night, you go to Wayne, which you just mentioned, that Friday. And then Lamar's the next night, Lamar's, Iowa. Then to Gibbon, Nebraska on Friday, August the 4th. Mobile, Iowa the next night, August the 5th. The Iowa State Fair.
I forget. Britt was the one I was forgetting about. That's what makes it, because Iowa State Fair. Or the other one.
That's a Wednesday night, and then you've got Thursday night off, and then you pull in Wayne, Nebraska, and then that's a 3-hook week there for you.
Them are tough.
So Wednesday, Friday, Saturday. So
that'll be kind of tough for guys. We'll see how that goes. And Britt's kind of a tough one. I mean, it's close for us, but I know it's a haul for quite a few guys. So we'll hopefully get some guys there to show up and make a good show of it there.
Gibbon and Mobile. And then, of course, Iowa State Fair, which I just mentioned a minute ago. Not sure which day you're pulling on, if it's Wednesday or Tuesday or Wednesday.
Pulling Wednesday pretty much the last 2 years. So I would imagine they're going to keep us on Wednesday. Usually they do the unlimited or the light super stocks on Tuesday, and then they'll put us on Wednesday that way. So that's kind of a busy time for the Iowa group. We do a lot of track prep. I pretty much park everybody with, Brad Lindell and Phil Klein Hesselink. We kind of run the parking crew down to the State Fair. So we pretty much park everybody Monday night, Tuesday, and Wednesday. So that's kind of quite a bit going on. And the Iowa crew, we got scale help, drawbar help, track help. So it's been really fun for the Iowa Tractable group to be part of that State Fair again.
Well, there may be one a monkey wrench to throw in. That is, of course, we pull Tuesday, Wednesday, Iowa State Fair, and then we go on to Wisner, where we pull Friday and Saturday. Wisner is considering running a Thursday night hook.
I think it'd be great.
So the Outlaws, we would go Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday that week. So anything that would hook on Wednesday at the Iowa State Fair, we don't want to hook on Thursday at Wisner. We'd want to hook anything that hooks Tuesday on Thursday. So I think we would make it.
Because, everybody that's fair, they're headed out to Wisner early anyway.
Yeah.
It's going to be guys and you guys to pack up Wednesday night. But, it's not too bad of a drive from there to Wisner. And, if we got all day Thursday to kind of set up and get things going, I think it wouldn't be it'd be a fun 5 hook in a row stretch. That's for sure.
Yeah, they're mulling it over. I think it kind of got voted down at one meeting, but they're still talking about it. Basically, Wisner has so many hooks that it's hard to squeeze them in 2 sessions.
Yeah, so, and they know everybody's been going out there from the State Fair. There's quite a few guys that still work. They got to go home, but majority of them that are coming up are, usually they're pull Tuesday. They're going to head out there on Wednesday to Wisner and get their park Everybody's got their places they need to park at. So some of them might not like it then on Thursday. If they're going to be pulling Wednesday at the state fair, they're going to have to turn around pretty quick to get out there.
Yeah, the Wisner pull, I mean, there's only a couple pulls, I think, in the summer that could pull that Thursday night hook off. And I think, it's going to be Rock Valley or Wisner,
I think they would probably have a lot better luck with a Thursday night than that Saturday afternoon, because I've worked a few times, which that was, 10 years ago. But, man, that Nebraska heat on Saturday afternoon, that's hard on a fella. That's hard on a guy out there, especially if the night before festivities got a little lengthy on a guy. And it's when I was flagging, there was a couple days on that Saturday afternoon.
Yeah, and it would be a smaller session on Thursday night too. It would be 6 to 8 classes, where compared to last year, Friday and Saturday, there were 12 per night. So.
No, and I think they'd like that, because then you'd probably be able to take, instead of having 12, you'd maybe get down to 10 or 9 those 2 nights. And I think it'd be great for that place to spread that out a little bit longer.
I'm kind of hoping they do it. I think it would be cool.
At least try it. Hey, let's try it one year and see what happens.
Yeah, it's one of those destination pulls. I mean, people go there to camp, and it's the experience. It's not just the pull; it's everything that goes with it.
See, I still remember before Wisner, everybody would go pull to State Fair, and then they'd want to go head out to Bowling Green.
Craig Ulmer? Are you affiliated with the Ulmer Mafia? Are you seeing the question he's putting up there?
We've sat beside each other many times at our Outlaw meetings.
He's asking if you know anybody that's crazy enough to put a diesel engine in a Jeep.
It's for sale.
That's something you did.
It's for sale if he's interested.
Oh, there you go, Craig. Doug Meisinger is the points champ here speaking. Also, if they drop some hooks Friday night and start later, more people will be able to go off work. That's exactly, what we're talking about too, is spreading some of those hooks over into Thursday night. So, you don't have to start so early Friday. They started early enough. I know there's a lot of people still coming through the gate. They're Fridays. Oh, yeah. Wisner makes a long weekend for me.
Thursday, but like I said, it's really hard on guys, them afternoon ones.
Yeah, they are. And it's Tyler Anderson. I have a 95. Yeah, I put a Deutz in it.
A 5 Jeep with a Deutz. I got an 89 Jeep with a 4-cylinder Cummins in it.
That Anderson guy puts.
It's quite a unit. We'll just say that. It's everything.
Going back to
the engine. It rattles and it smokes.
So after Wisner, you've got Spencer, and that's 15 hooks for you guys. How does a diesel Superstock hold up for 15 hooks in a season?
That's really about perfect for us. You really get stretching out more now. You're gonna have some weekends that are back to back, kind of tough. But for what I've talked to a lot of guys, I mean, some say more, some say less. But you go any less, and it's hard to have a good points run. You go any more, and it just gets long drawn out. But 15, 16, that just seems like it's right there. I mean, maybe 16 is too much. I know that the Grand National guys, when they were talking about 19 or 20, Travis and Kent, that's a pretty grueling schedule. I mean, they know they've got 5 weekends in a row they go, and that's a tough in and out of there. But it's I'm gonna be curious to see how the new point system's gonna work. That was one kind of thing we came up with this year that I'm looking forward to seeing how that's going to work, with the last 3 hooks kind of tied into some of that stuff, giving guys a few more options to stay in the races and see if we can continue points races. So I think it's going to be, that'll be nice this year too, for something new for everybody. There's been a lot of talk of that, and, kind of the first day down there, I kind of threw that idea out there and I said, hey guys, let's throw some ideas around. Let's come up with something on some napkins and see what we can come up with. And I was glad to see on Saturday, a few guys came out, hey, what do you think of this or what do you think of that? And, it kind of went pretty well with all of us in that meeting on Saturday for a different, just tweaking that point system a little bit.
Yep. Yeah, that was a change that we made and that we talked about there at the banquet. But you look at your hooks, you got 15. Now, some of the other classes, I mean, oddly enough, the 2-wheel drive class has the most hooks now, 27.
27.
Nope, I'm sorry. The limited pro stock and the pro stocks are at 28 hooks for the season.
Yep.
So those guys are really going to be. I mean, that's a lot of hooks. And
What is the? I saw you guys put together another shootout with a bunch of classes. That there's like 15 events you got to put together on that one, Ron?
yeah, we got the Holganics Midwest Midsummer Shootout. It goes from there it is.
Yeah.
July 14th through the 29th. Starts in Troy, Missouri on July 14th. It ends on the 29th, which we have 2 hooks on the 29th that'll be involved there, which would be Warrensburg, Missouri, and Lamar's, Iowa. 5 classes involved, 16 cities, $25,000 in that 2-week period there. 15 days actually, but pro stock, limited pro stock 4x4, the 540 light pros, and then the light limited pros all involved in that midsummer sweep. $5,000 per class is the amount of money that's in addition to what they get paid out. Each event. So pretty cool. Holganics Midwest really getting involved with us this year.
Come on and have them guys as the sponsor for something like that. I think that's awesome.
And from talking to those guys, I don't think they're done.
That's great.
We're talking about doing some other stuff with them, and the shootouts, the sweeps, things like that. I love that kind of stuff.
Oh God, I remember back in it would have been that early 2000s. We had that. God, I'm drawing a blank. The summer sweep, with Ottawa, Hinton, and Carroll, Nebraska, and Boone. That was a fun sweep back then. That was kind of first starting out those sweeps. With Doug Roberts, and it's like for a lot of fun to tie those places together. With stuff like that. The Western Sweep, that's the name of it. It was Western. Yeah. That for a while.
Yeah, that was before me. I was doing other things at that time, but I've heard of it. I've heard it was really fun.
I was a young guy at that time.
Me too, Tyler.
All good.
But yeah, that the sweeps and the shootouts. I mean, and anything where we can try to put some more money back in the pockets of the pullers. That's what I tried to
get these sponsors. Get their names out on there and stuff like that. Now you got stuff, and it's the sponsor for that. You guys got good things to talk about. That's what I'm hoping. You got stuff to talk about down in Texas, and then finishing up at Rock Valley Round. It'll give you guys a lot of things to talk about our class and how guys have been doing and seeing where we are. We're really hoping to have 7 tractors make all 4 hooks for our class.
Yeah, well, the Big Smoke Shootout. I mean, you're still building this thing. It's going to be at least 5,000, and Kurt told me it's going to be at least 5,000. Extreme Performance tire cutting is going to help with that. And speaking of Holganics Midwest, I'm getting a call from Todd Bowles right now.
Good. That's good. That's great.
But maybe he wants to jump on board with this. No, I'll talk to him later. But if there's any businesses out there that want to jump on board, I mean, this, potentially you could add other hooks to this, or are you set on having it at these 2 hooks?
Right now, we kind of want to just leave it set at these 2 just to see how it goes. We're, like I said, getting us down at Whitewright that first year, just seeing how that goes. And then, with Rock Valley being one of Kurt's hometown, to try to get more guys there, we're just going to see where that's at first. We've had a lot of other conversations with that. And I said, well, let's just the first year out, let's not get too ahead of ourselves here. And that's why we really weren't sure how much money we're going to have there, with going back to guys, but we're just going to start out, and we got something put together, hopefully with Cody doing some artwork for us. And I think we can, if it goes well, we're going to definitely expand it and go from there, but it's nice to have a couple sponsors come on, and hey, we're doing a few things to kind of give some of those guys some stuff back so they can, we're looking at doing some metal cutouts, kind of like what Wisner did 2 years ago with the state of Nebraska. I got a buddy of mine that has a laser table to cut some of that stuff out. So we're kind of throwing together some ideas for a few things and just seeing what we can come up with to kind of have fun with it this summer, and, something for you guys to talk about.
Heck yeah. I hear that there's kind of a famous Texas team that might show up.
I'm hoping so. I remember talking to them guys down there last year, and, I said, hey, how's it feel to be pulling your home state? Well, we still had a long drive to get here. That, we were, I think it's just a little under 12 for us, like 11 and a half, which really not a bad drive, but it's like, we go through 4 states, and I think they're like 8 hours and they're in the same state.
Yeah, those guys, I've been told they're going to show up there at Whitewright. Hopefully we'll see them at Rock Valley as well.
Yeah.
So of course, we're talking about the Blagraves. down in Texas.
And I was chatting with Doug Messinger earlier today. It's like there's so many fans that have been watching them guys pull on TV, and I know they're just excited to come and see him face to face and talk to him. And Esden was that way when he came out to Wisner 2 years. Last couple of years, just so many fans are just happy to see them guys out here that they just want to go talk to them and get to meet them face to face because they've been watching them for so long. So
And there's a guy too that we might see out this summer as well.
Hope so. It'd be awesome.
Esden Lane. And yeah, that's so the Big Smoke Shootout, folks. Make sure you put it on your calendar. Starts. This is diesel super stocks only. 2 pulls, 4 hooks. Starts at Whitewright, Texas on June 23rd and 24th, and ends at Rock Valley, Iowa, July 7th and 8th. And of course, Whitewright, Texas, that pull is called Thunder in the Lone Star. Rock Valley is Thunder in the Valley. 2023. This is a big anniversary year for Thunder in the Valley, isn't it? I think it's a big anniversary year for them.
I was there for their first. I remember that one.
Really? How old are you, Tyler?
38.
38. Okay. So are you going to try to make every hook this summer with the Born Green tractor?
Yep. We're definitely looking forward to it.
That's the goal, huh?
That's the goal. We got a few things. We've got some new parts coming for freshening up some old stuff, and I think I got some things figured out how I can set it to make passes and have some fun hooks this summer, and shouldn't be too bad for us. I don't really see anything coming up for us that we won't be able to make them all, and it's we've been kind of shooting for that the last couple of years and see if we can do it again.
We had a breaking news on the show last Tuesday. I don't know if you watched the show on a regular basis, but Jason Schultz with the Beer Money Pulling Team, he usually co-hosts with me.
Yeah, what's he doing tonight?
Well, he's down in Florida doing some real estate things. He's having a real estate meeting. He calls them meetings, He thinks he's a big deal and all, but
yeah.
No, but he's going to park the Limited Pro tractor, and he's going to have High Plains Doug Meisinger build him a diesel super.
Wow.
So
I knew he was going to get back in. He loved that thing. Blackjack 21, and it's, man, it gets any of the diesels, the super stocks. I couldn't imagine doing anything else but what we're doing. It's just, we have fun. It's, it's kind of, we're all against each other, but at the same time, we're all for each other to keep making good passes and be there every week. And, it's going to be fun to see, Brad Campbell's supposed to be getting his back together. See him and Tiger make it to a few more again.
Yeah.
A lot of fun. I think Doug's going to have his, freshened back up, ready to rock and roll. And, some of the guys maybe from the north, Esden come down. Maybe we'd like to see Roger every once in a while.
Roger, yeah.
A lot of fun. I think Bruce Bartnick, I think he's still got his out and about. Maybe we'll see them guys once in a while. So, hey, that's the fun part about our class. We can really go anywhere. So it's blast.
The boys out in Ravenna there.
Yeah.
Sure we'll see them some this summer. They'll try to make every hook as well.
Had a few things that have just been taking a little longer than he thought, but he's ready to get her back together since 2019 was kind of a rough season for him there, but I think he's got a lot kind of changed, and I think he's going to be real fun to pull with, and they're going to make some good power too.
A good one. Are we going to see good one this summer?
I hope so. I'm glad that Matt's enjoying doing what he wants to do. I mean, he kind of goes everywhere, and it's like, it's funny. I mean, he's gone up to Toma, and I mean, it's tough with, Rockwell is the same weekend as Gibbon and Mobile, and that's pretty tough. I mean, it's tough for us. That's 40 minutes away from our hometown. We got to go out to Gibbon, but I know Matt's been having fun pulling at Rockwell, and, last year for him to go out to the Enderley and pull that, I mean, hey, that's go pull where you have fun at. That's what it's all about. But yeah, if he has time and pulls with us, hey, we're looking forward to it.
Mark Ham says need to lean on that Ulmer guy to pull Lost out of the museum.
I'll let a lot of them other guys lean on him for that one.
I just talked to Mark last night. I was trying to get him to come on the show with you, and I was actually trying to get Esden to come on as well, but I don't think Esden does too many shows.
No, well, picked a good night for me. It kind of had an open night here, and so it's kind of been great to chat with you guys about stuff.
So what do you got new cooking with your tractor? Any changes to speak of, or?
Last year we put last year I pretty much cut the whole rear end out of it. Well, I left the rear housing in there, but we lightened up I had Franklin planetaries and we lightened them up, put magnesium ones on there and changed a bunch of that stuff around and had to get new rims from Taylor. So put new rims on there to get it all to fit. And so I really kind of want to get that all figured out. We really only made about 1 or 2 good passes with that to kind of get that figured out, which the main reason we did that is we shaved about 475 pounds of weight off the rear end that we now have movable weight. So that was pretty huge for us. I mean, I don't need it up there just yet, but we're hoping to get there in the near future. And we'll see. We've been doing some R&D on maybe a suspension front end. A lot of guys have had that out there. So kind of playing around with that. But for me right now in March, it's kind of getting a little bit close to the farming season, and June will be here. So right now it's kind of just, hey, we're cleaning a few things up, putting stuff back together and, get it together for the first hook right now. All that R&D stuff's kind of set to the side already. That's kind of my get that stuff in September, and then you work on it in December and January and be ready for the following year stuff.
There was a comment here just a little bit ago, and I missed it. We were talking. Somebody, well, there's Marty. Any changes to pool from Nebraska as far as classes? Marty, I mean, Wayne has the 2-wheelers, limited pros, and semis this year. Mobile added the light modifieds as well as Madison, South Dakota. There's quite a few additional classes added, some pools. I mean, we've added some pools as well, Scribner and Pierce and Norfolk. And, of course, we're kicking the season off in Monette, Missouri. That's a new one for us. Let's see. Teresa Novak. What's Doug Nepper up to? You know what that means, Tyler?
Doug Nepper had the little green toy back in, when did that break? He broke that at Dunlap. I want to say like 2014 or 2013, somewhere in there. He split the block. And so that basically became the bounty hunter. But then I know he had a component chassis somewhere in there, and I think that's just been kind of tucked to the side a little bit. One of them relics, and just could see him, but I haven't heard nothing much of that lately. Maybe the chassis gets moved somewhere and somebody will pick that up and put it together and run it. So, hey, that's awesome.
Yeah. I don't know if you watch. Do you watch the show on Tuesdays?
I catch of it. It's kind of a busy night a little bit for me sometimes there. So we try to catch. I know Dave Novak's one I watched, and I've seen a few other ones that you've done when we can. So I'm not a regular watcher, but we try to get when we can, Ron.
Gotcha. I didn't know if you heard, we brought the semis back, the limited pro stock semis.
We were like close, I want to say back in like 2012 to buying one. So I know what those are. They're a lot of fun to watch.
Well, I mean, with the way the rules are set up right now, I mean, it really is would be kind of an easy class to get into, to be honest with you. I mean,
definitely.
Single turbo, limited to 4.6. Okay. That's a little different from NTPA's pro stock semi. They don't have a limit on the turbo. It's one turbo, but no limit. We're limited in 4.6 on the intake side.
That the PPL hooks? I think isn't NTPA they're the super stock semis in Grand National.
Yeah, there's super semis, and you get into super semis, and then there's no, you can have as many turbos as you want. It's Katie bar the door.
I thought it was PPL that had the no limit on the just one turbo on theirs on their pro stock semis, wasn't it? I'm not for sure though.
I know NTPA has the pro stock semi, which is
some of the videos you see Bear Money share on Facebook. When you're laying there and watching stuff, kind of seeing what everybody's pulling videos they can come up with.
Yeah. The ones where the block shoots out of the truck and onto the track, I think those are multiple turbos, I'm guessing.
Hard on stuff at times.
But no, we're single turbo, and been a lot of interest. I know Outlaws have tried semis in the past, and I'm not sure that was before me.
I think so. I was trying to remember when Jason Clausen actually sold his. He had that bully semi for a while, and that one was fun to watch. Which now I think it's in the Grand National. Nicky's Nightmare, I think, is which one that one is now. he stretched it out and did some of that. But that was, yeah, they're fun trucks. I mean, you're one turbo, man, a 4.6 on there. They can make some power, and 20,000 pounds, they definitely get up and move. I mean, it's a fun truck class to watch. I know they've been out to Wisner 2017. We had them maybe out to Wisner one time. We've had a couple out there. So it's been here and there. Hopefully we can get them a little more consistently and have that class there at some of these big shows, because they're crowd pleaser.
Yeah, Doug O still had his. He exhibitioned it there in 2021 and sold it shortly after. I think it went to Ohio, if I remember correctly. But yeah, Monette, we kick off the season. The semis will be down in Monette for a 2-night event. They're scheduled at Troy, Missouri, Wayne, Nebraska.
One thing, I remember this when I was little, because we used to go up to Toma in the late 90s, and I was 10 years old, but man, the semis weren't till the very end, and I would just try to stay awake the whole time because I wanted to watch the super semis up there. Like, if we're gonna have semis, sometimes we need to put them first, just so all the little kids can see them, and they're not trying to stay awake too late because they want to see the semis pull. Yeah. Because we've chatted about that at the meeting too, about switching the class order up. Some of the guys that are always pulling first, they want to pull later, and for our class, I'm either or. Pull us first, pull us late, put us in the middle. I get it. Fans are there at 7. The shows, let's start pulling at 7 with a good class. I mean, we were, God, I want to say it was 2020 when we had the Pro Stocks first up at Rock Valley on a Saturday night. Clint Menning was like the first hook of the show, and front end up 370 feet. And it's like, now that's how you start a show off.
Yep. I recall that. That's I've used that highlight. On highlight reels many a times, that run you're talking about there.
Front end came up, and he just sat back and enjoyed that ride the whole way down there. And it's like, first hook, first track, man, you can't beat that.
Yeah. There was a comment. I'm guessing it's somebody that you know. If I'm trying to think of the name that was on there, Tierney, I think, something like that.
Des Moines, yeah.
There you go, Kim Kester Tierney.
Casey wants to get. Oh, yeah. Yep. Well, that's the state fair. I mean, they have done a great job with that event place down there. They got the shelter on the grandstand now. It's worked out great. They can still have their evening event and all that stuff. So it's been fun. Them state fair hooks, they kind of were really popular back a couple years ago, and now they've seemed to fade away. And, to have the state fair back, it's been awesome.
How many semis do we expect to have at each pull? Conservatively, 5 to 6. Though I have been getting a lot of inquiries on rules. Some guys up in Minnesota and Wisconsin are asking about rules, so we may have more than that. We'll just see. But right now, we're looking at 5 to 6 conservatively. We've got one gentleman that has 2 trucks that are set up for pulling.
Awesome.
He actually is the sponsor of the class. Wisner's going to have the diesel 3.0 pickups this year. Yep, Wisner's. Jake Kinman, 3.0 diesel pickups ever come back to Wisner? Well, the answer was right before you there, Jacob. 3.0 diesel pickups, limited pro diesel pickups are going to be back at Wisner.
Cool.
So to answer your question. So, well, Tyler, I'll give you an opportunity here to thank anybody you want to thank that's helped you in your pulling career. It's helping you now. Any folks helping out with the Big Smoke Shootout, I'm just going to give you the floor and let you say thanks to whoever.
Quite a few people to thank. There's a great crew around every puller out there. It's like, where do you start and where do you stop? We're looking forward to moving forward. The Big Smoke Shootout. We've got, Doug's going to jump in there. We've got, the 2 pulls to come along with us. Talking to the guys down at Whitewright to get us back there. I think there was a little bit of hesitation there, just a long ways away to get guys to, to come down to it. So it's great that they're going to try it and get us back there and see how it works. So pretty great there. It's been fun. We've had hope to have more fun with it. Keep guys coming and keep our class growing. It's been, Diesel Super's been around for a long time, so it's great to still see a good crowd of us. And we hope to stay good numbers, strong numbers, and keep guys in it and get new guys into the class too. It's we run hard, but a lot of times there's our parts are they're getting better, and the guys are doing there. I mean, you can really talk to a lot of pullers, and I don't want to say there's going to be a book on it, but I mean, there's a lot of guys getting stuff figured out how you can put things together and make a good season out of it. You know, you don't have to go to the down and go have fun. And I mean, that's what I like about our class the best is you go to different tracks and man, you can be on top of your game one night and the next night it's a game changer, you know, with the track conditions. So that's what's kind of fun about what we're doing.
Yeah.
But,
all right.
yeah.
Well, Tyler, thanks for taking some time out for us tonight. And we're going to be reporting every week on the Big Smoke Shootout. Anything new coming up with it, and any pullers we hear that are coming that that we weren't expecting. We're definitely going to be talking about it from now until summertime. So, folks, stay tuned. Get ready for that. The Big Smoke Shootout coming up in June. White Texas, and Rock Valley, Iowa. Tyler Buckman, thanks for coming on. Appreciate you taking out the time tonight, buddy.
Bet, man.
All right. Yep, we'll see you out there. Thanks, Tyler.
All right, Ron. Good show.
Mackenzie, thank you for being on the spot there with some of the things I was asking for.
Yeah, no problem. That's what I'm here for.
And the whole Ganix midsummer sweep graphic that we had there, putting that up there. Thanks, Tyler Buckman, for coming on tonight.
Yeah.
Awesome. We're going to be highlighting those Diesel Supers early in the season.
Cool.
Be a great season for the Diesel Super Stock class. I mean, it's going to be a great season, period.
For anybody.
Great to see the Diesel Supers getting the highlight on them, and a lot of these new ones getting built and getting them out of the barn, getting them out of the shed, and getting them ready for the summer. I think we're going to have a good class of Diesel Supers coming up here this season. What's that?
People love Diesel Supers. You know,
people love Diesel Supers.
Dave Nelson was saying how many views they've had in like the top 3 videos. You know, one was Delaney Polson, and then the next one was Doug, and the next one after us was us backing up at Spencer. So it's like the top 2 to 3 were Diesel Super tractors and stuff. And it's guys, that Big Smoke, them turbos like that, they're just fun to see. And every one of us are different. We didn't say, Ron, is almost every Diesel Super out there's really got a different setup and how different each one is, but it makes a great show. I know they loved them at the Pullers Championship last year. Doug said that was new for them guys to have them there, and they really enjoyed them down there. Sounds like they're going to have full class down there this year, so that's awesome. We'll be curious to see the 10 guys they have there in May down there.
Yeah, I'm going to go this year. I'm going. I think I'm going to be helping out a little bit there at the Pullers Championship. I couldn't go last year when it was my daughter's graduation, so I couldn't get them to change the date, but
anthem down at the Farm Machinery Show, Ron.
What's that?
I said singing the national anthem at the Farm Machinery Show. Pretty good time.
Oh yeah. I was a little nervous, Tyler, believe it or not. I was
we were watching it live stream every session, so we had fun, and you did a great job, Ron.
I appreciate it. Mackenzie, you got anything new going on?
Nope. We'll be going to where are we going? To the Keystone Nationals next week.
What's that?
In Pennsylvania.
Oh yeah.
Going to there, and then going everywhere. Honestly, then we're going to Louisville for the truck show.
Yeah.
April, and pulling season starts. So.
A neighbor of mine's got a semi they're taking down there to park inside.
Oh, really?
So,
yeah. Oh, it's a truck show? Nice.
Oh, cool. Just to show off?
Yeah, it's a green Kenworth. So it's a pretty much a show truck. But he runs pretty sharp green Kenworth. So you can't miss it. So, yeah, they got take down there. I mean, it's going to be inside the building. So if they're inside, them guys are spending some time getting them to shine.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got a call from Ken Summers yesterday.
Ooh.
And he said, he asked me, how does it feel not to have to worry right now? Well, usually we would be stressing over the Cowtown Showdown, which would be next week. But it's like, you know what? It does feel kind of good not to be stressing over it. I said, but, we can spread out this stress throughout the next year.
Right.
Getting ready for next year. We're definitely going to do it next year. But
you bet.
But
is the Nebraska that in Lincoln they used to have? Is that one still?
Cornhusker Classic.
Yeah.
They still have the antique pool, but they don't have the big pool they did have. I think, they raised the rent on them, I think, and it was getting where they simply couldn't put enough butts in the seats, to cover the costs. And,
I was out there in 2019, and what caught my attention was right next to the tractor pull, there was a big pool tournament. So I was like,
oh, yeah.
Yeah. And when I say put enough butts in the seats, I mean they didn't have enough seats there to put more butts into. I think they weren't having a problem with ticket sales. It was just capacity. They didn't have enough seats to put,
I think when I was there, and I mean they had like 3 grandstands on one side and 3 on the other side, and there was people standing all around everywhere. So it's standing room only.
That's a good pull. I was there in 2018. Covered that with full TV. But well, thanks everyone for tuning in. Thanks Tyler Beckman for coming on. Kenzie, thanks for working there in the background. Appreciate it. And tune in next Tuesday night, 7 p.m. Central Time for Outlawed Live. Thanks for tuning in, everyone.
All right. Thanks for watching.